you've gained a bunch of weight, or you've gained a bunch of weight in the past, and it's done a lot of damage to your life. Your life hasn't been the same. I mean, my life wasn't the same after I gained over 85 pounds. I went all the way up to 240 at one point, and it did a lot of damage, not just physically, not just health-wise, but also mental-wise, depression, social anxiety. All these things came into existence and came forward into my life. And with undoing the damage, we have to kind of understand a lot of things on why they happen. Why did we get to that point? And then how can we get out of that point? Is it by just going to the gym and lifting weights? Or is it really more than just going to the gym, lifting weights, and trying to develop a good physique? Because in my opinion, it really is more than just that. First, you have to understand why you got to that point, and you have to look at yourself and realize, wow, I know this may sound corny, but wow, I am fat. I really got to this point in my life. That's crazy. And it's like you're taking that accountability when you're just looking at yourself in the mirror and you realize, I've gotten here because of my choices, because of my eating habits, because of me not willing to do the hard work when it was necessary, or me laying in bed all day, eating chips, scrolling on my phone. Those actions, those led to those consequences. And sometimes in life, you have to face those consequences head on. And that's the thing about weight loss, is a lot of people aren't willing to take that accountability for themselves. And that in itself is a big step towards not just weight loss, but becoming a better human in this life, becoming someone more wise, becoming a better person in this life, becoming someone that's whole. And you can undo the damage by facing the consequences and taking accountability over yourself. That is undoing the damage. You're already taking the first step to undo the damage, because you look at the mirror and you realize, wow, I'm like this. So then how can I get out of it? And then you take the steps forward from there. I know it's going to hurt. I know the process hurt. The process hurt for me. I didn't even want to do anything, but I did it. With also undoing the damage in weight loss, it comes a lot with the food you eat, right? The food has led you to where you're at today. And you just got to admit that sometimes. I mean, look at me. I used to eat Takis upon end, Oreos upon end, junk food upon end. I would grab my plate and try to eat everything I can in my way without knowing how many calories I was actually eating. I was eating way above in a surplus, which caused me to gain a bunch of weight. And so when we're losing weight, right, we need to be on that deficit. But then how can you become so disciplined and so aware of whether you're on the deficit, whether you fall back into the cravings, whether you're like, oh shoot, it's McDonald's, there's a McFlurry, there's some Culver's, I'm just gonna eat this again, because it makes me feel good for who I am. It makes me feel great. We want to avoid that. We want the clean foods to make us feel great. And so with taking control of junk food, right, and eating the clean foods, it takes a lot of meditation. It takes a lot of self-awareness. You look at the food and you're like, hey, what am I about to eat? You take a deep breath and you realize, wait, what I'm about to eat is junk. This isn't going to lead me to weight loss. This is actually going to do more damage. See, when you think of it that way, when you look at the food and you realize how much damage it's done to you, it's almost as if you feel disgusted. You don't want to eat it anymore. I used to love the heck out of McDonald's, but when I stopped eating it and realized what it did to me, it did not taste good at all to me. I mean, like none of their items I like, not even the chicken sandwich or the burger or the Filet-O-Fish or the breakfast. I mean, it is not good to my taste buds because I desensitized myself. I was self-aware of the things that I did, and it led me to that point. It led me there. And so next time when you have a big plate of junk food on your food, just push it away, take a deep breath, and realize what you are about to do to yourself. And you should also do the same with eating the clean, healthy foods. You have a plate of rice or chicken, grilled chicken, eggs, and you look at the meal and you say, this is going to help me on my calorie deficit. This will lead me to the best physique and undoing the damage that the weight gain has caused me. And with the damage of weight gain, I realized that it damaged a lot of my health. I had a high heart rate back then. I had a high blood pressure. I couldn't even run. I was like not even physically active because I was just laying in my room all day playing freaking Overwatch on the computer for hours upon end. Playing, I don't know, who did I play? Genji, I think, and Reinhardt. Like, I would just play that game for hours. And so when you live that sedentary lifestyle, it damages your health like crazy. Not just the damage of weight gain, but damages your overall health and mental health too. I mean, I'm depressed. I was bullied at school. It became more depressed. I had social anxiety. I was too scared to even get out of my room at times. So my room was just a whole bubble, a whole comfort zone in which I would live in, I would survive in. Right? And you may be going through the same thing as well, where you're just stuck in a comfort zone forever and you can't get yourself out of that comfort zone, which is killing your health in the long run. I remember the doctor wanted to do a bunch of blood work on me because I was that unhealthy. My hormones were whack. They were out of place. I mean, think about it. You're laying in your room all day. You're barely getting any sleep, playing video games all day, and you're eating a bunch of junk food. What is that going to do to your hormones and your testosterone? It's going to mess it up. And then you're going to develop gyno and all these things, hip fat, love handles. It gets bad. It got really bad for me as well. And so with undoing the damage of weight gain, you have to start living a healthy lifestyle, living the complete opposite of the lifestyle you used to live. So for me, I had to do more cardio every day. I had to make sure I was getting 10,000 steps a day or going to the gym 4, 3, 5 times a week, grinding, trying to build muscle. And even at times doing a sport helped me as well lose a bunch of weight. So I was burning a lot of calories through doing movements, exercises, running, sprinting, jogging. And with the gym, it takes a while. It's not like a one-day thing, bro. It's a process. It's going to take longer than you actually think it did. For me, it's almost been 3 years now. So I've been on the grind for a while now, and you should do the same as well. I mean, after a year, you're just going to be consistent, and then you're going to follow a consistency game. And sometimes at that point, you can't even rely on motivation anymore because you're just being consistent. And that's how you undo the damage of weight gain, is you find something you're consistent at that burns calories, and you will go to that point where you have lost the weight and you don't feel guilty anymore for gaining weight. I mean, look at me now, like I'm bulking. So I don't really feel that guilty for actually gaining weight. I know it's not going to do me any damage because I'm eating clean foods. I'm going to the gym almost every day and doing my cardio still, living a healthy lifestyle. Then if you eat too much on a surplus and you do the bad habits, the bad things that you're not self-aware of, you are going to gain weight and lead to that point. And the gym will lead you to your goals because it's a consistency game. It's something you're building upon every single solitary day. I mean, the gym did save my life and it undid my weight gain because I lived a more healthier lifestyle. And you should reach for the same as well. That's how you're going to undo the damage. You know how much damage you've done, but you just got to undo it, my guy. And the last thing is, it feels like you have a sentence. You're like in court. They're like, I sentence you to this. And you feel guilty. You feel like you have to pay for the consequences, like I was saying earlier in the video. That's how it is. That really is how it is when you gain a lot of weight and you choose to do the bad things. You have to face the actions and the consequences that you committed. And so you have to follow that sentence. You have to think, hey, you know what? I got to start going to the gym. I got to start doing better habits. I got to lessen a bit of the video games. I can still play video games, but I just got to lessen it a bit. Right? You'll be on your way to success soon. And from my point of view, it took me a while to get there to that point of success. I had days where I binged back. I ate Mountain Dew. I gained like 3 pounds over the weekend. And then I was overthinking. I was like, shoot, how do I lose this? How do I lose this? Okay, I'm just going to do a bunch of cardio unhealthy way and put on fat burners on me and go run outside for 2 hours to discipline myself. Now that did build discipline, but I wouldn't recommend. Remember, just stick to that calorie deficit, my guy. You're just going to find yourself throughout the journey. And it really takes a lot of mental energy out of you to undo the damage that you've done to yourself. So go after it. Lose the weight. Realize what you've done wrong. Undo the damage that you have caused to yourself because you don't want to further the damage. You don't want to become unhealthy or end up in a state where you can't move or you can't do anything with your life anymore because of the food you eat, because of the alcohol you drink, because of the habits you chose to do. But it's your time to step in, choose a healthier lifestyle, choose where you want to be in life, and go from there.